That's going. Okay, well, thank you all for joining us today. Excited to have a friendly audience, Caesar Superstar audience on the call today as we roll out the Teams feature. If you were registered to attend the first webinar, thank you for your patience and flexibility. We had an unexpected server outage and that took us down for a day, but all is well now and we have some solutions that we've implemented to mitigate that in the future. So we're excited today to talk about the new Teams functionality with SESAR, which we really hope is going to serve in particular our larger um, organizational users, but really is designed to be flexible and to allow anybody who would find use in it the ability to use it. So with that, we have a short set of slides today and then we're going to spend most of the time live demoing the new interface and walking through how to use it and what your options are. So I just wanted to acknowledge the full CSAR team. This is us who keeps the lights on and keeps the system running day in, day out. Many of us are funded as part of the larger AIDA data facility. And so I always like to show the team. We have Sabiel Cho on the call today, as well as Sean Cow, our system engineer. So they will be helping and keeping me on the rails, making sure I don't say anything incorrect. So just for those who may be finding us online, CSAR is an open repository and searchable catalog for sample metadata. So this is really a community platform that helps make scientific samples more discoverable, accessible, and reusable. And it allows users to connect samples with the knowledge ecosystem derived from them. So think linking papers, linking data sets, having a place to keep track of all of the different research outputs that you create on research samples. To accomplish this, we offer a workspace for sample metadata management. We have curatorial review of metadata that's coming into our system. So we really emphasize and are proud of our work on that because it makes these samples more searchable for you, the expert users. And to that end, we have a publicly accessible catalog for discovery and access of samples. As well, we offer minting of IGSNs, International Generic Sample Numbers. And so that allows you to have a persistent and globally unique identifier, the IGSN, where you can simply send this number, which is a DOI. You could send that to a collaborator, you can cite it in a paper, you can cite it in a data set, and that allows you the ability to link back to that original sample metadata. Our website is www.geosamples.org. Okay, today we are cutting to the chase. We are here to talk about some exciting ongoing changes at CSAR, specifically our sunsetting of the GeoPass legacy login system, and then the rollout of our new Teams functionality. So GeoPass is a AIDA-specific authentication and login service that was designed to enable users to log into a variety of different data systems like the EarthChem portal, CSAR, Geocron, etc. We are phasing this out, and beginning June 1st, we will have all CSAR users authenticating and logging into their CSAR accounts using ORCID IDs. And so what this created was a situation where we needed to come up with a way to support our organizational users who maybe have been using a single email login, organizational login for a variety of different team members. And so towards that end and towards the end of the purpose of trying to better serve the organizational needs, the unique organizational needs, we have developed this new Teams functionality. So we're going to focus on walking through kind of the user interface of the Teams space today, and then take questions about how people can migrate into this kind of new way of working. this shift is part of a large scale upgrade that CSAR is undergoing as part of AIDA 2 funding. And so we are close to rolling out a new website. It's been a long time coming. We're working on kind of polishing the language on the website, but we're excited to get this up and running and have a refreshed website with more guidance and FAQs informed by the questions that we've received from users over the years. We're also really excited for forthcoming work related to modernizing the user interfaces for MyCSAR. So these are some early concepts that we've been working on for a revised MyCSAR. It looks a lot more modern. We're adding a lot more features that we think will be a lot more useful to people to engage with our interface and find ways that it can support the tracking of their data and outputs related to their samples. So these are early concepts. This is coming down the road. And we can certainly take some questions on that at the end if you want to. Okay, introduction to Teams functionality. We're going to do live demos today, orienting you to the team space, showing how to create a team, add team members and outside collaborators, how to transfer existing samples in the CSAR system, how to create new team-based CSAR codes, some walkthrough of settings, and then kind of looking ahead at things that you may want to be aware of as you shift into this new function. One thing we did want to just note is that with the rollout of the Teams functionality, we've updated what were once called user codes now into CSAR codes. There was a little bit of a kind of a misalignment with the concept of user versus team, and we didn't want to create confusion. So just as a reminder, it's purely a name change. So the user code is a part of the IGSN alphanumeric structure. And so we're showing that user code, now CSAR code, in the blue on the left. And so the kind of architecture of the IGSN, of course, these are now DOIs. So they have a DOI prefix, a backslash, and then that CSAR code. And that CSAR code is something that creates uniqueness in the IGSN names that share a single prefix. Here we're showing the CSAR DOI prefix. And the CSAR codes give you flexibility in naming and organizing your samples. And so some of you who will be transferring in existing CSAR codes to the new team structure will need some support on the back end. We will help you do those transfers, but you will also be able to create new CSAR codes under your teams. Related to this renaming, you will start to see some visible changes, switching over from that user code terminology to CSAR codes throughout our website, as well as our individual sample registration interfaces and our batch registration interfaces and templates. Okay. With that, I will get ready to switch over. Are there any initial questions just from the slides that I covered?
I guess I have a quick question with regards to the user code to change.
Mhm.
Will user code continue to work when trying to register IGSNs, like through the bulk upload, or is it kind of like a hard transition?
You mean if that spreadsheet has user code on the left, right
Yeah,
here, and
that it's
see
user code.
it will return an error, I believe. So so you will need to, if you're reusing a template, you'll just need to update that to say user code, CSAR code, sorry.
This
Yeah, we recognize it's a annoying little clunky thing for people who reuse the templates. The
this is
best thing you can do is re-download. Yeah, go ahead, Sapes.
sorry, I was gonna say this is also the same for the batch uploads, meaning the batch updates too. You guys should use and make sure that the documents have SESAR code rather than user code. Otherwise, it will come with an error. Again, we do realize, like Natalie said, that it is a little bit of a change, but it shouldn't be too much. It should be just easily transferable. You could just download a new template.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. And we anticipate, yeah, we do have users that are reusing the templates, and so there will be a little bit of a transition period. But if there's ways that we can support that, definitely reach out to us at info@geosamples.org, and we are here to try to make it as less cumbersome as possible. So we're going to walk through now the team's functionality. As of June 1st, you won't see this login with your GeoPass button. So today I'm going to log in with my ORCID. When we come into the My SESAR user interface, we will now see that there's this Teams tab up on the main tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. That's the only kind of thing that's changed on this dashboard page. And so we see need to manage samples and SESAR codes within a team, create a team below. We have a ability to set a team name. So I'm just going to say Natalie's April 3rd webinar team. And this is a team created during the April 3rd webinar. So you can add a description, and then you can add also a contact email. And of course, when you're live demoing, you always misspell things. And then you submit. What you'll notice now that I've created this team and entered the team environment, all those tabs at the top of the page went away. So this is our lightweight attempt at making a visual cue to help you realize that you're in the team environment. If you want to get back out to the normal dashboard, you just go to the upper right here and hit exit team, and you're right back into your individual account. We won't run it quite this way with the larger UI upgrade that's forthcoming, those concepts that I showed, but for right now, this is how it'll work. So now that I've created that team, when I came to the team tab, we see my team name. You can have multiple teams. And so we envision this being something like, an organization, a single organization, or maybe depending on the size of the organization, there might be several different departments that want to have different teams. All of those options are there for you. This feature is there for you. So we have a different set of tabs within the team environment: samples, people, SESAR codes, outside collaboration, transfer requests, and settings. We've tried to keep it kind of stripped down and simple, and not complicate it too much. If you were to go ahead and register and update samples as part of this team, you will be taken back out to the normal interface, and we'll show that in a minute. Right now we have no samples because I just created the team, so we'll work towards getting some of those in here, but the rest of this interface is the same interface that you see when you're in your individual account. The first thing that we might want to do is add some people to this team. So here we're going to have a list of the different team members. They're added via, you can either search for the name, but importantly, when you go to add team members, they each need to have already created a SESAR account with their ORCID. So right now, if I go to add member, I can start by either typing an ORCID or a name. I'm going to try to add Sabes. And I'm going to add this. I know Sabes is ORCID. And I'm going to hit add member. So if you're typing and you don't see the person that you're looking for coming up, it might be that they just haven't created a SESAR account yet. And now we see that the invitation to Sabes is pending. And so I'm going to stop screen sharing briefly and hand it over to Sabes just to show what that looks like on the receiving end.
All right, let me share my screen. There we go. So can everyone see my screen? Can you see it?
Now we can. Yep.
So, oh, there's a sign. Okay. So once Natalie or someone else in your organization creates and shares the team invite to you, you should get an email saying you've been invited to Natalie's April 3rd webinar team or whatever the team name is. So all you have to do is say join Natalie's webinar team, and you should be redirected to accept invitation, which I'm going to accept. And then now I have access to Natalie's webinar team. The only thing is, but you could notice is because I don't have any status necessarily except for read only, this is a default once you accept it. Natalie's going to have to give me different access in order for me to either register samples or add samples or view them or edit them. So I'll pass this over to Natalie again.
Perfect. Thanks. If I go back now and refresh the screen, we can see that Saves has accepted the invite. And now I have a range of options to give Saves additional permissions. So any kind of range you would want: read, edit, create, team, admin, etc. Now I'm just going to have Saves have full access. If you are the team owner, and for whatever reason you need to pass on the torch, you can do so in settings. So there's a setting down here, transfer team ownership, where you can select a new owner. They need to already be a part of the team. So we envision this, for teams that are for team members that are going to be pretty stable. This would be the place where you want to come add them. You can delete a team member whenever you need. Of course, teams shift around through time, and so that feature is there for you. If you have a project that's maybe more ephemeral or time limited, or you have maybe you're a sample collection and you send out a sample loan, and you don't need somebody to be a part of the team, but you do want them to have some read, edit, write permissions, say to update sample metadata, you can do that under outside collaboration. So for this, you would select a SESAR code, which maybe I should go back up and do the SESAR codes first, but you will be able to select at the granularity of a SESAR code to give them permissions within that single SESAR code. So we'll revisit that. Right now, we don't have any SESAR codes that are quote unquote owned by this team. So if you are transitioning with us into this new team functionality and you're already an ongoing user, you may need to transfer some existing SESAR codes. Go ahead and send us an email at info@geosamples.org and we will help you manually transfer those over. We'll do it on our side. So if you can send us that email, maybe provide us with the SESAR code or codes that you need to transfer, and then the team information, that will help us out. Once you have the team created, you can go ahead and create a team specific SESAR code. So I'm going to try to do that now. So I just created one, and these three letters happen to be available. So IEWBG. And now if we go back to the outside collaboration, we can see that SESAR code is available. Because that transfer from an individual SESAR code into a team SESAR code is done on the back end, I'm not going to demo that today, but we can certainly chat about that. If I wanted to go add an outside collaborator, let's say we have a really confusing team because we have two Sabeses on our team. I'm going to add this other Sabes, which thankfully we have orchids for this example. And you can immediately select the permissions. So maybe I want them to be able to read and edit because I gave them a sample loan and I want them to be able to edit the metadata. If you are, again, working on a time limited project and you want them to be able to have those permissions expire, you can do so. So maybe it's a 3-year project and it ends May 1st. You can go ahead and grant permission. Permission updated. It lists the SESAR code they have access to, the permissions, the activation and deactivation date. You can always go ahead and remove that that outside collaborator as well. Say that the project ends or something like that. Let's get some samples into this team. So I'm an ongoing user. I have my own individual account, and I want to transfer some samples into this new webinar team. So I'm going to go exit the team, and I'm going to go to transfer ownership. And so this may be familiar to you if you're an ongoing SESAR user, but now you'll see that instead of transfer samples to the following SESAR user, we have the following SESAR user or team. So in this case, I've pre-made 2 test samples for today, and they have IGSNs that are, oh, interesting. That was not what I thought would happen. I have pre-made 2, and I'm going to copy paste them in this case. You have a couple different ways to do this. If you are a team that has thousands and thousands of samples, we are here to help you on that. And we can do that very efficiently on the back end. And so again, feel free to reach out to us on email. We can either just do it based on what you describe you need done in the email, or we can set up a time with you to Zoom and get that accomplished. So in this case, I'm going to copy paste in these 2 test IGSNs, and I'm going to go to find my team, and we'll see. I hit submit, and I get a green good sign that says these IGSNs, these 2 have been transferred to that webinar team. If I now go back to the teams and I refresh the page.
1 second, Natalie, you have to accept the transfer, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So you don't want, there are accidents that could happen, where someone, has too much time on their hands and is going to put in some random, random IGSNs. So, we do make you accept that. So I can see under transfer requests, I'm now going to have a log of all those transfer requests. So we retain, you will be able to retain kind of that log and that provenance information. So this came from Natalie, and there's 2 IGSNs in this batch. The status is pending. I can accept or reject. Are you sure you want to set this transfer request as completed? Yes. Now, if I go back to my samples and I refresh the page, there they are. Okay, so this is an example of an existing user code in the system that was sitting under a different type of account, and now I've transferred it, and now it's completely manageable within my team space. So anybody that has those edit permissions in the team space can work on the metadata here. Similarly, if you wanted to, so we have this IEWBG. If I exit the team and I have logged in individually, I'm going to, in this case, register an individual sample, but it would work the same with batch. Let's say I'm going to just register test sample 3 for today's webinar. Terrible sample naming identifier practices, but it's an example. Oh, I'm sorry. One moment. Again, the joys of live demoing. Let's try that again. Let's say I'm going to register an individual sample. Test sample 4. If I want to use that team-based user code, I will have access to that because in this case, I'm the team owner, but Saves similarly would have access now to that IGSN, to that CSAR code. So you can now register under teams. And there you go, you create your own IGSN. Normally you would fill out way more metadata, and here we go with that team CSAR code. I'm going to go back into Teams now, and we will see that that sample that I just created, this plain rock, is right here. That's the bulk of the Teams functionality. Of course, this is a new feature. We definitely want to hear from users what they're liking, what they don't like. If there's something that's missing, tell us, because we would love to know, and we will maybe be able to add it in this iteration, or certainly can integrate that information as we develop these new UIs. So I want to hand it over now and open it up. I know Sabes has been answering questions on the fly in the chat. Thank you, Sabes. Questions so far? I'm going to review the chat while we wait and see. Yeah, so there's a question. I'll say this out for the recording. People who may be watching the recording, when creating a team, is it recommended for the contact email to be a personal email, or can we use a team/group email? That's a great question. It's referencing this contact email associated with the team. It can be either. So it could be the team owner, or if you do have a really stable group address that you want that contact email to be, absolutely, that's totally workable. Yes, we have someone pointing out that they were playing around with it, and it seemed possible to be logged into an account that's not linked to an ORCID and create a team. Likely you have discovered a bug, and correct, it will not matter in a month or so. That's just a result of still having GeoPass live. So let's see, it's April 3rd. We're trying to give our large organizations some time to get this transfer going. So that's why we have a delay in that final GeoPass shutdown, which has been a long time coming. So we're hoping to get people migrated over in the next 2 months. And of course, we will have ways, if that 2 months passes and your team hasn't transitioned yet, and you get caught up, we will ensure that you have a way to restore access to your account promptly. We don't want to create unnecessary hurdles and time delays for people. So we can absolutely help you. If you get stuck, just email us at info@geosamples.org.
We've already had a few users asking about transferring issues with transferring samples. We do understand with users who have thousands of samples, this may be an issue. So if you do have one of those accounts where you have thousands of samples you're trying to transfer at once, please let us know. Our developer, Sean, is here to help. And we also want to make sure that the samples and also the user code, especially if you're still continuing to use your user code, that user code also gets transferred to the team too, which Sean could help you with.
And bear with us as we also get used to saying CSAR code.
Oh yeah, CSAR code. Sorry, my bad. Yes,
It's okay. Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie.
I guess I have a question. So I guess my normal process of registering IGSNs is through the bulk upload. And so when I create a team for my project, is it necessary to enter the team and then click register and update samples, or can I just register as normal, through this homepage?
You can register as normal. So I would say that's the one a little bit clunky portion of the interface right now, is that you don't stay, you always come back to this individual. But yeah, you don't have to enter the team. you'll be able to create batch file template and you'll just have access to that team user code. So this is something that we will fix in the larger UI upgrade, but right now we're just the primary goal is to get people shifted over from that GeoPass and then to start to get some feedback on what people need. And so to that point, this is definitely some feedback that we have heard. And so that distinction will be clearer in the next round of the UI.
Okay.
But yeah, great question. You can do it. You can do it straight away. You don't have to go through Teams.
Okay, thanks. And then I guess a follow-up question. So then once like the SESAR codes are associated with the team, any samples that are registered under that code, like afterwards, are automatically associated with that team then?
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that the application, the example for that would have been this WBG one that I created on the fly. So that one I created using the SESAR code that was created cleanly under this team. Similarly, if I had been registering samples, these IE NHR samples on behalf of an organization or a sample repository that now was going to shift under, like we could go and I could email Sean and say, or I could email SESAR and say, hi, SESAR, can you transfer my user code NHR over to Natalie's webinar team 3? I'm part of XYZ organization and we're making the shift. So over time, this should be cleaner, as we have new teams that may be completely new to SESAR, but we recognize that for our organizational people who are already have already been using SESAR, it's a little bit of a shift. But once you get these codes in here, then it should be clean.
Our suggestion also, just reiterating this, is that you transfer all the samples first before you transfer the user code. And the person who originally made the user code or is a current owner of the user code has to request that the SESAR code is transferred to the team. Otherwise, we can't honor that because it's the idea of, due diligence for ownership of the user code, the SESAR code and the samples itself.
Okay, thanks.
I would just say for most of the large organizations that are working with a substantial amount of samples, just email us and we can like figure things out for you on the back end.
Other questions? Okay. Well, thank you to those tuning in live or catching us after the fact. Again, our email is info@geosamples.org, and we are here to make this transition smooth, and we really do want to hear your feedback and things that you would like to see. Saves will also put in the chat or may have already put in the chat. Yes, thank you. A link to our YouTube channel where we have some of our more recent webinars, as well as a link to our SESAR newsletter, which is available also at this QR code. And that's where we share occasional updates on new features and improvements, registration and information related to webinars like this one, as well as occasional office hour opportunities. So with that, I will stop the recording.